my YouTube people. So today was my last day as a seasonal delivery driver for Amazon, and so today I'm going to do a pros and cons list for working for Amazon as a delivery driver, just in case you are deciding to apply for this position. So to just start from the beginning, I started this job back in September and it's ending today. So it was about 4 months that I was working for Amazon, and basically I was hired as a seasonal delivery driver, which means they need you during their peak season when people are ordering a ton of things from Amazon. So specifically December was the busiest time for us. So the first thing I want to start off with are the cons of working as a seasonal delivery driver. The first con, I would say, I wrote some things down, is if you're looking for a permanent job, then don't apply for a seasonal job. I went into this job knowing that it would be seasonal and that it would only be a few months, and that worked fine for me. But if you are looking for a full-time permanent job, then don't go for this job. Another con is that the job can get stressful at times, especially around peak season. You're gonna have a really big route. You might have 120 stops up to, it can go really, really high. The most I ever had was around 120 stops a day, and that's for an 8-hour shift. So it can get kind of stressful. You have all these packages that you need to get out. So you have to be really efficient. Organize your truck in a certain way to where you can get everything out in a timely manner, and you're not spending a ton of time looking for a package or just looking for a package on your truck and then trying to get it up to the door. You want to have the package really accessible, get it to the door, get back in the truck, get to the next stop. It's just, you have to be on it. Another con that I would say is specifically as a woman, it can be hard as it gets dark, and we know that with the time change, it gets dark earlier. So around, my shifts would be from 11:30 to 8, so an 8-hour shift. And so once you get to around 5 o'clock and it's pitch black outside, it can be a little scary knowing that you're carrying, different products and things. You might feel like you could be a possible target. So it can be a little intimidating to have a lot of merchandise and packages on your truck, and then it's late at night. You might not be able to see everything that's going on around you. So that can be a little bit intimidating. Also, this job, you're not always going to be right in town. You're not going to be always in an area that you're familiar with. With this job, I had to learn to be more, flexible. I had to travel sometimes an hour away to different towns around the city that I live. And so you're not going to always be in your comfort zone or familiar with the area. A lot of times I would be sent to small rural areas that I'd never been to. But one thing I did like about it is it was kind of like an adventure. Like, it was places that I would never go to, but I got to see, and a lot of the places were really pretty and beautiful. You just got to see so much scenery, different animals while you're on your route, and it was a balance. It taught me something, to be more flexible. Another con I would say are the dogs. If you're a person like me where you're kind of afraid of dogs, then you might want to rethink this job as well, because you're going to go to almost every house and there is going to be a dog. And you have to be able to work around that. They did give us these little buttons we can push that most dogs, they will respond and back away from you if you press the button. But some animals, that will just aggravate them and make them even more aggressive towards you. So you have to use a lot of discretion and common sense when you're getting out of your vehicle with a package and you see several animals. You have to be able to discern whether that animal is friendly, if they're going to allow you on the property, because a lot of times, animals, they're going to protect, their house that they're at. So if you're not into dogs, you might want to rethink being a delivery driver. If you're a person that likes to stay busy, this job is really good for you. But there were times where we didn't have a lot of routes. So before, I'd say September, October-ish, sometimes there wasn't a ton of routes. So what they would do, they would pass out the routes, and then whoever was left over, well, you could VTO, which is voluntary time off. You could leave. But if you're a person that wants to make your money and yeah, you got bills to pay, and then you don't want to take VTO, and you don't want to stand around at work and do nothing. So yeah, that just comes with when you hire a ton of people, you know, to meet the peak needs. But then, you know, you're not quite there with the demand of people buying things. So sometimes you get people where you have VTO if there's not a lot to do around the job. So since I got some of the cons out the way, I know they're not really, really bad cons. Let's talk about some of the pros. So one thing that I was looking for when I decided to get a seasonal job was I wanted something that would be just stress-free, and I didn't want someone on my back constantly. And that's what I liked about this job. No one really micromanages you during this job. You get your route at the beginning of the day. You have a handheld device that you take and you scan each container to scan onto your truck, and you load your truck up, get everything organized in a way where you can access things pretty quickly, and you go to your location. It sends you to your first stop, and so that's what you do all day. And no one's going to micromanage you unless you're going extremely slow. Then you're going to get a call. Or if someone else is going really, really slow, you might get a call to go and help that person. So that's the only time I experienced someone just like calling me throughout the day, is if someone else needed some help finishing their route, or if I was a little bit behind. So besides that, no one just calls you and bothers you all day. You just have your route, you get your packages, load them up, make sure you're going, getting things done and accomplished in a timely manner, and you're pretty much good to go. Another pro is that the pay is decent. I mean, the pay, it starts out at $15.50 where I'm from. So that was fine to me. It's not the best pay in the world, but it's decent to me. It might not be decent for you, but it was decent for me. So yeah, you can always do different driving positions. I've looked at different driving positions around where they're advertising, and I see some driving positions that are like 18 to 22, 25. You can, and then if you have, you know, a certain license type, you can go drive and make a ton of money. So it's just up to you how much you're willing to, what you're willing to do to make a certain amount of money in, you know, in the driving field. So yeah, so the pay is decent. Another pro is if you're a person where you do need a lot of time off, the VTO can be a good thing. You know, if you're a person that likes to work, then you're not going to be interested in that. But if you're a person where, hey, you need a day off this week, or you need to go do this, having VTO available is really a really nice option, rather than having to call in and say, I can't make it today. Another pro is, I guess, the Amazon culture. I really like the Amazon culture. It's all about meeting goals, and doing your best in making sure the customer gets exactly what they asked for and they ordered. And the culture is just all about meeting a goal and working together, teamwork. So as far as working with coworkers, it was a really positive experience for me. Everyone wanted to help you succeed and do a good job, and I like the culture, honestly. So yeah, that was a pretty quick pros and cons list. Overall, I really like this job. If they have it offered next year, I might pop in and do it next year too, because it was easy. The only thing that I really just didn't like about the job was the late nights, being out and then being really far out to towns that I don't know about, and it being dark. That can be really intimidating. I guess something that I would recommend for this job is it would be nice to have some sort of a buddy system. And I know that can be really expensive to have 2 people to a truck, but I think in today's climate, and especially during holiday season, it would be really good and smart for the company to have 2 people to a truck. It's just smarter, just in case something happens where, you need help or your partner needs help. I just think it would help the delivery process go faster as well, because you have somebody that's driving and then someone that can get out and run the packages, and they can switch off doing that. That would be good. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. But yeah, if you're looking for, a job that's for a couple of months so you can get some extra cash, go ahead and apply to be an Amazon seasonal delivery associate. If you're looking for something a little bit more permanent, then you might want to look at the fulfillment centers. If you have a fulfillment center in your city, then that might be better, working in a warehouse. But yeah, so I am done with my little review, and I'm about to get some lunch because I'm super hungry. I'm trying to eat healthy, y'all. So I gotta find something to eat. But thanks so much for watching, and comment down below. Let me know if you're interested in being a delivery associate, or if you have worked for Amazon and what your experience